This is our first instructional video for this course, and we're going to talk about numerical expressions. Numerical expressions are basically just numbers and operations, maybe a few grouping symbols involved in there, but that's all we're looking at here. We'll talk about variables later, but right now we're just talking about numbers and operations. So I've got a couple examples here on the screen for you. Let's look at this one over here on the left first. Here we've got 3, we're adding it to 7 times 2. And over here, something similar, but a little bit different. Here we've got some grouping symbols, parentheses. So we are looking at 3 plus 7 and then times 2. So these two expressions look very similar, but when we evaluate them, we may find that they are not that similar. Let's take a look at evaluating numerical expressions. And to do that, we have to remember our order of operations. A little mnemonic device to help you remember the order of operations is please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. So these letters represent the order in which we do these operations in a numerical expression. So we start with the parentheses and we evaluate everything in the parentheses first. Then we evaluate exponents, multiplication or division next from left to right across the expression, addition or subtraction across the expression from left to right. So let's evaluate our two expressions and see if we get something similar or something different. So using our order of operations here, we have to do our multiplication or division first before we do addition or subtraction. So in the expression on the left here, we want to multiply 7 times 2. We get 14. Don't be afraid to write things out in math class. And then don't forget to add the 3 as well. So now that we've done the multiplication, we can add 3 plus 14 is 17. And that's our final value. Let's take a look at the expression on the right here. Now, we've got parentheses, and the P in our mnemonic device comes first, so we have to evaluate things in the parentheses first. So here we have 3 plus 7 is 10, and then multiply by 2. So 10 times 2 is 20. So this is a great example of how using order of operations and using those grouping symbols can give you a very different value when you evaluate a numerical expression. Now, these were two very simple values or simple expressions, but down here a little bit lower on the page, I have a much more complicated expression. And so we will want to analyze the structure of this expression as we go along and take a look at the order in which we're going to do things. So let's go back up to our little mnemonic device and we start with parentheses. So I do see some parentheses. So that's going to be the first thing that I take care of in this order of operations. The next thing that I'm going to evaluate are exponents. And I do see an exponent here. The exponent is 3. So that means that 2 to the third power is the same as saying 2 3 times. So 2 times itself 3 times. Okay, so be careful of that. After I evaluate the exponents, then I'm going to go back and do multiplication or division in the order that they appear from left to right. So first I'm going to multiply, then I'm going to divide, then I'm going to multiply again. All right, and then finally I'm going to do addition or subtraction again across in the order that they appear. So here I have addition and I have subtraction. So now that I've analyzed my expression, now I'm going to do those operations in that order. So the first thing I want to do is my parentheses. 7 minus 1 is 6. I'm going to rewrite the rest of my expression just to remind myself of what I have left. The next thing I'm going to do is evaluate my exponents. So here's my exponents. 2 to the third is 2 times 2 times 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, times 2 is 8. And again, I'm just going to copy down the rest of the expression. Next, I'm going to do my multiplication and division. So I've got 3 times 6 is 18. 84 divided by 2 is 42. And 4 times 8 is 32. And now I can put my addition and subtraction signs in there. And then finally do my addition and subtraction. So 18 plus 42 is 60. Minus 32. And 60 minus 32 is 28 is my final answer. So it's always a good idea to take a look at your order of operations and make sure that you're doing things in an orderly fashion when you're solving numerical expressions.